Well, we're just a few weeks out from the Breeders' Cup underneath the Twin Spires at Churchill Downs. So a lot of excitement building leading into that weekend, and some excitement this morning taking place at Churchill Downs itself. Now, Catholic Boy actually shipped in last Sunday to Churchill Downs, but today was the first day that he got to work over the surface. Javier Castellano flying in for just that work alone on the heels of a career milestone, getting 5,000 victories yesterday afternoon. But we'll take a look at his Traverse win and talk a little bit about this work this morning for Catholic Boy. And talking to DRF's Mike Welsh, he did say it was a lot different of a work than what he saw leading into the Traverse Stakes. He said that today it was more of a long, sustained type of drill for fitness. He clocked that final time in 5 furlongs in 102.2, but a very strong gallop out, going out a mile in 142.1. So that was really the purpose of this. Of course, he missed one of his first works back in the process of leading towards the Breeders' Cup. So now it seems like he's got some great energy, and Jonathan Thomas, his trainer, was very pleased with the work here this morning. Shifting gears to the West Coast and California, yesterday was a really big day, an important day for that California contingent of Bob Baffert, John Sadler, and Mike McCarthy. Accelerate for trainer John Sadler actually worked yesterday in 59.8, and judging by that alone, it was very impressive, because normally he's not an impressive workhorse. He went solo for that drill, so it looks like onwards and upwards for the potential favorite for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sadler will also be sending 3 other Breeders' Cup horses in Catalina Cruiser to the Dirt Mile, Catapult to Dirt Mile, and Selcourt for the Filly and Mare Turf Sprint. Now, Bob Baffert hopes to pre-enter 9 horses, including, of course, Collected, McKinsey, West Coast in the Classic, and Abel Tasman and Valderie in the Breeders' Cup to staff. And Mike McCarthy, we actually saw City of Light clock a workout yesterday. He went the best out of 40 workers for the distance at 5 furlongs. He went in 5 furlongs in 59 and flat. Now, Roaring Lion, an impressive victory in yesterday's QE2 at Ascot. The Connections, John Gosden, deciding to cut him back in distance. Not necessarily his best distance and not necessarily his best surface. It was a very, very heavy ground. So the fact that he pulled away with a victory just shows his relentlessness and his class, too. So after that race, the Connections in Qatar Racing's Sheikh Fahad said, quote, "We are strongly considering the Breeders' Cup Classic on the dirt." So we'll see how he comes out of the race, and if we will see him in the Breeders' Cup Classic. He is set to retire at the end of this season for stallion duties at Tween Hills Stud. That is your Breeders' Cup news update, brought to you by Shadwell Farm.